So this week's Ask Loz question is about getting your specific person to pursue you. It's gone from hot and heavy to just friends. Have you ever been in this situation? Have you been friend zoned a little bit, or where it's not progressing the way you want to full-blown girlfriend, boyfriend, 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 girlfriend, girlfriend commitment? This question answer might be for you. Let's go. Loz, the video series where I answer your most pressing manifestation questions, whether it's about a specific person or money or relationship, commitment, third parties, whatever. I will answer your question. All you need to do is fill out the form and I will answer it the next week with a video like this on YouTube, and you can be anonymous, of course. So the first question this week is from Jay, and the question is, my SP went from pursuing me to let's just be friends. How can I change my self-concept to address this, as this seems to be a pattern in my relationships? Now, the great thing about this question is the person's identified there's a pattern in their relationships, and they know it's not about their SP, it's about themselves. Guys, if you've ever watched me before, you'll know that the reason why we get so much specific person and love success in my group following, on my Facebook, in my TikTok and YouTube, is because I concentrate on changing you to change the situation, to change your person, because you're not really changing them, they're reflecting you, your concept of yourself, your self-concept. So this person's been very clever in the question and told me that they know my teachings and they understand how this works, and they know they have to change their self-concept for that person to then change, for him or her to change. So the let's just be friends thing is something she's causing, she's saying, from her self-concept, and she knows it's a pattern in relationships from before. So let's hear the rest of this question. SP pursued me for quite some time. Then I finally caved. We really clicked. 12 months in, everything was still great, except we hadn't been intimate for 4 months. He felt sex would ruin friendship. I initiated no contact after that to work on myself. Okay, there's a few things here that I'd like to address, but also she wrote, there's a lot more to it than 300 characters. Now, I actually give you guys 300 character little space in the form to fill out more details about your question. Now, there's a reason I do that. A, it's because I don't have time to read your fucking essay about your specific person, but also because it isn't relevant. The bit that's relevant is the bit that's underneath this, which says, describe your childhood in one short paragraph. I couldn't give a shit what's happening with the SP. Let me give you the tip. Every single time it tells me nothing except what your self-concept issue might be, and I just need to know a bit more about your childhood to figure out why you've got that self-concept issue. You could write me reams, and I mean essays, and I've got them before when I used to do coaching one-to-one, and now you can't do that because there's a very specific form you get. Reams of people's essays about their situation. And I'd get to the end, and I'd get to the end, and I'd get to the end, and I'd say, victim. Sometimes I'd write, victim on the top, or what the fuck is the relevance of this, or what has this got to do with you, or what is this about? It's not about self-concept, it's about them, question mark. Because the person wasn't getting it. It's not about them. It's not about the situation. It's not about what's happening. It's about how you're causing what's happening. And this person has realized that. That's great, except they kind of tripped themselves up by saying, there's a lot more to it. No, there isn't. There isn't a lot more to it. There's a lot more to what's going on back here in your own mind. That's what we have to work out. Not what's going on with the situation. I really couldn't give a shit what's going on with the situation. Okay? It never tells me anything. What it tells me is your self-concept issue. Then I have to delve more into your childhood. So, let me just delve into what she just told me here. Then we'll go into the childhood bit. They pursued me for a while, and then I finally caved. We really clicked. So sometimes when you're in those situations where you feel like you're being chased, then you might have a story, oh, now they've got me, they don't want me anymore, or now the thrill of the chase is over, or the honeymoon period's over, maybe they don't want me so much. You could have those kind of thoughts, and that's when it kind of dies off once they've got you, because you had a story in your mind that they only like the chase, or now they've got me, they don't want me, or I'm not good enough for them, or whatever, right? And I'd like to know, if she liked this person so much, why she didn't cave in the beginning. And it sounds to me like not because she was trying to play hard to get, although it could have been. She could have been doing that bullshit dating tactic stuff. It sounds more like she didn't feel good enough, and therefore she didn't give in. And then when she finally gave in, she still didn't feel good enough, and that's why it's happening. And that's why she's got the situation where they haven't been intimate for 4 months. So she's basically friend-zoned herself from the very start. By even thinking, I'm not going to pursue a relationship with this person, he's a player, or he likes other girls, or he's not really serious, or whatever the thinking was behind not caving is the answer here. But also the fact that she's friend-zoning herself with thinking he's better than her, more good-looking than her, likes other girls, whatever the story is that's causing the lack of intimacy. Okay? He felt sex would ruin friendship. So she's got a real story that actually all he wants from her is friendship. I don't know where she's getting this from exactly, but that's what we need to work out. I initiated no contact after that to work on myself. Guys, please stop initiating no contact. I know it's an old dating tactic that a lot of you have done, and then you'll bullshit me and say, it's just because I can't handle it and I need to be in no contact to be able to work on myself. No, that's complete crap. What you're saying to me is that you get so triggered by them in the 3D that you need to be out of contact with them to work on yourself. And I get that, but guys, you've got to understand, sometimes it's better for them to be around so you understand what your triggers are. They're triggering you right in front of you. If you're away from them, you can be in no contact, feeling great about yourself, and as soon as they turn back up again, you're like a triggered bitch and the whole thing blows up in your face because you didn't have them there triggering you. I want them there triggering you. I want you to work out what the hell your triggers are, not disappearing, escaping from the problem, which is you, by the way, and thinking they're the problem, putting it on them, going no contact, thinking you're working on yourself, then the bastard comes back and you get triggered like a bitch. Happens all the time in my group because people don't listen and they do that old dating technique thing, or I can't handle it. Guys, you're going to handle it. You're going to have them there in front of you, triggering you, and handle it. But if you can't, sure, do this. But then sometimes it gets harder because you're in no contact, you're wondering what they're doing, you stalk their socials, you see other girls on the Instagram, whatever, and you start to freak out, and then going no contact actually made it worse for you. Can you handle it? If you can't handle it, don't go no contact. My parents divorced at age 9, was home alone a lot with older sister. When dad moved, dated, then met wife, and mum met her now husband. Oh, so both her parents had new partners when she was quite young, around 9. That's quite young. Yearned for validation and to be seen/chosen, but felt that I was an inconvenience or never a priority. Is that kind of how she's feeling in her relationship with this guy? Not prioritized, like he doesn't even want her around, like he doesn't want to sleep with her, like he just wants her as a friend? I wanted to be perfect and never wanted to argue. Oh, well, that's interesting. Why? Did you have strict parents? Did you not want to rock the boat? Were you afraid of fighting because your parents fought, and so you thought, I don't want to have any fighting because my parents split up. I don't want my parents to split up from me. Don't know what's going on there as to why, but wanting to be perfect all the time would actually answer the question as to why she didn't cave in for this guy at the beginning, because she's put him on such a pedestal and she's thinking, I want this relationship to be perfect, okay? And so until she's perfect, she won't say yes to him. And then when she does, she still has the thought that he's better than her, and so it just goes to shit. That could be what's happened here. Experienced SA, ages 14 to 18. So any abuse like that, sexual abuse, will basically make you feel not good enough no matter what happens to you, okay? So abuse of any kind will make you feel like people are going to hurt you and that you're carrying around shame and that there's something wrong with you or you're not enough because of what happened to you. Now, guys, abuse is something that happened to you. You didn't create that, and it's something that happened. Someone inflicted that upon you, especially if you're a child, all right? So what I need you to understand is that you've got a story here, darling, the person who I'm answering, that there's something wrong with you, perhaps because of that, and that you need to be perfect, and therefore there's things about you that aren't perfect, that need to be perfect, and therefore you're kind of friend zoning yourself because of all this story you got about you having something wrong with you, or not being enough, or not being seen or heard, or not being chosen or prioritized, and then he's just going to act like that. He's going to reflect that back to you. Oh, I'll hang out with her, but maybe just as a friend. Oh, I like her, but I don't want to sleep with her. Oh, there's other girls that are prettier than her. She's all right, but... because that's the story you've got. I'm not good enough. There's something dirty about me, wrong with me. I'm too loud. I don't want to get in arguments. I'm too this, I'm too that, whatever the story is, okay? And then he'll think that, and he'll reflect that, and it will come out as friend zoning, even if you're in the relationship itself. They'll treat you as less than. They won't initiate. They won't pursue. They'll turn from the guy who was pursuing to the guy who doesn't care anymore. Because you've got a dominant story that you're a nuisance, that you annoy people, that you're an inconvenience, that you're not prioritized, that there's something wrong with you, that you need to be perfect. When you're not perfect, the person won't want you. You need validation to show that you're perfect or enough. And then there's a vicious cycle you've got going. So darling, unfortunately, the pattern in your relationships, the pattern's you. So let's fix that. So if that's the story that she's got, and by the way, she hasn't done my self-concept course, so darling, if you did it, it would help you a lot because there'd be very specific affirmations. And if you did the fear assessment in there, it would really help you with these fears you're carrying around about being not enough or not being chosen or prioritized, okay? So that's my self-concept course, A Kick-Ass You. But because you haven't done that and I don't know what your specific fears are, I'm kind of guessing from the information that you've given me. And the information is this: I need to know that I'm enough. I need you to show me that I'm enough. I need validation from you to show me that I'm prioritized, enough, special, perfect, or good enough. And if you don't give it to me, I keep thinking, seeing that I'm not enough. So the more the person doesn't validate, out loud say, I like you, or out loud validate that you're the girlfriend or whatever, or initiate sex or be affectionate, you're seeing the world like, oh yeah, again, this isn't working. Again, I'm not enough. Again, I'm not being validated. Again, I'm not being prioritized. Again, I don't get what I want. I won't say anything about it, but I won't get it. Now, she says she doesn't want to start an argument. Maybe that's why she went no contact. Instead of saying how she felt about the situation, which you can, by the way, guys, express a feeling, she just left or went no contact because the actual initiation of a vulnerable conversation would be too much for her or be too scary. So instead, she went no contact, which says a lot about not being able to reveal her true self to people because her true self isn't enough or wrong or dirty or shameful or there's something wrong with it. And if you think that, then you'll never verbalize how you feel, you'll never be your real self with someone, and you'll think you're not enough no matter what you do. So darling, the key here would be for you to say, I am more than enough. Of course I am. Things that happened to me in my childhood, in my teenage years, that's what happened to me. That has nothing to do with me. And my parents spending time with other people, that was about them. Didn't mean they didn't love me or my sister. Didn't mean they didn't love us. They just got their priorities out of whack. But I am prioritized. I am a priority. I'm always put first. I'm first best. And this man puts me first and he loves me. And I know him better than anyone. And he loves our friendship and he loves our romance and he loves being affectionate with me and be friends with me. We have both. We have the sex and the friendship, and he loves having that with me. He doesn't have that with anyone else. He only sees that with me because I'm, and then a whole lot of self-concept, special, enough, beautiful, perfect, just the way I am. There's nothing about me I need to change. I can express my feelings now. I don't worry about upsetting people. I'm not worried about people's reactions anymore. Things like that, darling, okay? And then see you and him together in a romantic situation, and anytime he triggers you in the 3D, if you're in contact with him, see him as the version you want. Don't be triggered by the non-version, the old version, the shitty version, the one you created. It's your own creation, guys. It's your Frankenstein's monster. You created it, so don't react to it. You created it, so don't go no contact with it. You created the damn thing. Now, if she's in full no contact here at the moment, I think that's what she's saying, no contact after that to work on myself, then she needs to really work on her and assume he's picking up on this work. He's picking up on her new self-concept, because a lot of you, when you're in no contact, you think, but how will they know? How will they know I've changed? They know, trust me. They knew you were going to shit in your head when you were together, didn't they? So they know when you're apart. Trust me, it's telepathy, guys. It's going from the receiving set, the sending set in your mind to the receiving set in their mind. It's going from your mind to their mind, okay? Every single time, whether you're in no contact or not. So she doesn't have to worry about the fact that there's no contact. All she needs to do is change her thinking about herself, feeling enough, special, chosen, prioritized, validated, or not even needing the validation, knowing she's enough without the validation, and knowing she's good enough to be the full-blown, claimed, shown off girlfriend status and take herself out of friend-zoned status. Okay, guys? So I hope that answered this question. If you want your Ask Loz question answered by me, type in your details in the form when you book an Ask Loz slot, and I will answer the following week with an answer like this, a reply video on YouTube just for you with special affirmations and answers to your specific question. Thanks, guys. I hope to see you soon. Bye.